I'm Dr. Steele, and I'm a test prep expert with Study.com. The word knowledge section of the Asvab is a multi-subject subtest that covers knowledge of word meanings presented in context. The problems in this video will focus on questions that align with the types of questions you can expect to see on the Asvab. The word knowledge section of the Asvab is one of the 4 that is included in your AFQT score. All right, let's do this. The first problem asks, which of the following sentences has a synonym for inconsistent? Let's look at the options one at a time. First is, the political dynamic is so consumed by chaos that I fear we will never get out of this conundrum. The word chaos jumps out, but the word we're looking for is an adjective since the word inconsistent is an adjective. But chaos is a noun. I do not see a synonym in this sentence. This option is incorrect. How about the outcome is as indisputable today as it was the last time you asked me about this issue? We want to look at the word indisputable in this sentence, but that is not a synonym for inconsistent. So that option is incorrect. How about this one? The sea is so tranquil that there is not a single wave on the horizon. Tranquil jumps out, but that is not a synonym for inconsistent. If anything, it's more like an antonym, but regardless, that option is incorrect. Finally, the capricious winds today are shifting so much that our kite-flying adventure may be doomed to fail. Capricious is the word that we want to focus on. It is an adjective, and in this sentence, it is describing the winds as being unpredictable and changing frequently, which aligns with the meaning of inconsistent. This is the correct answer. The next problem asks, why is the context so important in understanding an example of an idiom, hyperbole, verbal irony, or a pun? Well, let's look at our options. First one, it helps us interpret what the figure of speech means because the way it is phrased and the literal words used help show exactly what is meant. The problem with this answer is that it says literal words, and literal words are not enough when it comes to figures of speech, which is why we need context. So this answer is going to be wrong. It helps us interpret what the figure of speech means because the tone of voice used helps convey the meaning. This option is closer because tone of voice can help with context, but they aren't interchangeable, and you can get context without tone of voice. So that is not enough for this to be correct. It helps us interpret what the figure of speech means because the specific words used help us understand what is literally being said. This is similar to the answer that referred to literal words. This answer references specific words, which are not enough when it comes to figures of speech. So that's incorrect. And our final answer says, it helps us interpret what the figure of speech means because the situation in which it is said helps us understand what is really meant. Yes, this is the correct answer. Context is really important for understanding figurative language like idioms, hyperbole, verbal irony, or puns because it gives us the background we need to interpret the actual meaning. The situation, setting, the speaker's tone, they all contribute to understanding the underlying message that is being communicated through these figures of speech. Think of it this way. If I was talking about the weather and I say it's raining cats and dogs, you understand it's a figure of speech or idiom that means it's raining really hard. But if I was talking about the overcrowding of animal shelters and said it's raining cats and dogs, you would understand that as hyperbole about animals rather than rain. The difference in your understanding is due to context. So this is our correct answer. The next problem asks, a student is reading a book and they come across the word heliogram. They don't know what it means, but they do know that heliocentric means having the sun at the center. What strategy would the student use and why? Let's look at these one at a time. They'll use prior knowledge because the book is for readers who are knowledgeable about the solar system. Well, that has nothing to do with whether the reader understands the word, which this reader does not. So the student knows something about the root word helio, so they should use that information. So this strategy is not correct. All right, let's look at the next one. They'll use context clues because they think that knowing the context will be important in understanding what a heliogram means. That strategy is better than a random guess, but since the student does know something about the root helio, they should use that to help them understand the meaning. So this is not the best strategy either. How about this one? They'll use a known root word because they think that the sun will be important in understanding what a heliogram is. Well, this is the correct answer. The student knows that heliocentric relates to the sun, so they can use that root to infer that heliogram might also involve the sun. By understanding that heliogram likely has something to do with the sun, they can make an educated guess about its meaning. So let's take a look at the last one, see why it is incorrect. They'll make a guess because they think that a description of a heliogram will be given later in the book. This would be a bad strategy. The student knows enough about the root word to make an educated guess rather than a random one. So when you know something about the roots or the parts of the word, use that to your advantage. Our final problem asks, how can we make sure that we can remember new vocabulary words over time? Rewriting the definition, that sounds pretty good. Visualizing the definition, that can help. Link the word to prior knowledge, that's a good strategy. All of the above, I'm thinking we might be going there. And hangman, word games, also pretty good. Yeah, we're gonna use all of these to effectively remember vocabulary words. Use multiple strategies, such as linking them to prior knowledge, rewriting definitions in your own words, and visualizing their meanings. Combining these techniques, along with games like Hangman, can significantly enhance vocabulary retention. I encourage you to try multiple strategies because some will work better for you than others, and you want to figure out which ones work best for you so that you can use them. That is word knowledge. Check out the other videos in this series if you need more help getting ready for the Asvab test. Give us a thumbs up if you're feeling more prepared. Leave us a comment with any questions or topics you'd like us to cover. And make sure you subscribe for more U.S. military test prep content. Stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next video.